Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We are way overdue with the second trimester recap. I wanted to make sure I did it. I don't know who's watching it, but you know, one day I'm probably gonna look back and watch all of this. Like, I was actually watching a vlog that I made and I thought I was already getting a bump, and little did I know, I still had a lot to go. In this video, I do want to go over my second trimester recap, everything that happened. And oh my God, I feel like the second trimester felt like a long trimester. At least for me, I was super busy doing so much during this time. So let's get into it. I actually have my notes. I want to make sure that I could go over as much as I can. Remembering is definitely an issue right now. You know, let's just start off with pregnancy brain. That happened towards the middle of the second trimester, but that's what we're dealing with. Somehow I am still functioning as a coach. So let's go ahead and get started. So second trimester, we found out the sex of our baby. So my husband and I did a little gender reveal with ourselves, nobody else. So what we did is we went ahead and got from the doctor the letter, and we went to Party City, which unfortunately they're no longer going to be Party City anymore. We went in there with the closed envelope. We told the lady, hey, we're trying to do a gender reveal with ourselves, but we don't know if it's a boy or girl. And I wanted to do the whole like the powder thing. I'll go ahead and insert a clip.
Why did it pop?
Yeah, it did pop.
Yeah?
It just popped.
And that was definitely something else. So we end up doing the gender reveal. We are having a boy, and it was so funny because in our gender reveal, it was just my husband and I. We were at the park and we recorded, and both of us were very awkward in the sense because I end up doing the twist where the powder comes out. For a moment, I thought that mine didn't go off, and for whatever reason, you know, I was like, mine has to go off because mine has to be right. And then my husband was having like, he was a little bit worried because the powder ended up going towards like someone, and at Party City they told us that you want to be careful because it can dirty your clothes. So we just had like the worst reactions, I feel. But we are having a boy, which according to all the tests, that's what we are having. We will see once the baby's here, but we are super excited. I was actually having way more fun not knowing the gender, but my husband really wanted to know the gender, especially when I started making comments that the baby was a boy before knowing that it was a boy. And my whole family thought it was a boy as well. So he was like, not fair. Like, we need to know. So we went ahead and did it. That was the first thing we did. So we got excited about how things were going. Obviously, like I mentioned, the first trimester tends to be like a weird time because you're wondering if you're gonna go full term or not. And then second trimester hits and you're a little bit more excited, and then you hear more things, but whatever, something happened. So we allow ourselves to get excited, and I fainted out of nowhere. That was a very scary moment. That week, my husband's grandma had passed away. At the same time, you know, we were getting excited about the baby, and I fainted. I was on a call with someone who was interested in the coaching, and out of nowhere, I remember getting really hot, sweaty, and I tried reaching for my water, and the next thing I know, I was on the floor, and I got up and I was like, what just happened? I think I only fainted for like about less than a minute. It wasn't even that long, and we ended up going to a doctor because I was a little worried. I was like, I never fainted, and I wasn't sure if it was like a normal thing or not. So we went to the ER, and that was a whole other dilemma too, because the ER, they were trying to do like all these like urgent care. They were trying to do all these tests. They couldn't tell me like if everything was okay. And obviously I felt fine afterwards. I was a little pale at first, but I felt completely fine. They kept asking me all these questions, and you know, for a moment you feel bad because you start wondering like, what did I do wrong? Because they start asking me, are you hydrating enough? Maybe you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be doing that. And I felt like I did something wrong. And the whole time I was like, well, how's the baby? Like, is the baby okay? Like, I wasn't sure. So from urgent care, they actually sent us to emergency ER, right? Emergency something. We were there till 2 a.m. They were running all these tests. They kept saying something like they wanted to check that my heart was okay. I felt like everything was okay, but they were just making it such a big fuss. That was a very scary moment. But other than that, like, that was the only time that I fainted. And surprisingly enough, my OB, she'll say that there is a long list of symptoms that you have when you are pregnant, and fainting was not one of the symptoms. So you could just imagine how I felt. But we did get an ultrasound. The baby's okay. I am completely fine. I did end up changing up the way I take my calls. So normally I like to be standing on my desk because I do get tired from just sitting. So now I just sit and I make sure that my lights are not strong and I don't get overheated, because maybe that's what it was. I got overheated. So yeah, that happened. And a few days later, a week later, I wish I would have had these notes on a little bit more specific. I did a 5K with my clients. That was still part of something I was going to do. I did not want to miss out on doing the 5K. So all I did was I put on compression socks. I took it very slow. I am so embarrassed that I finished the 5K passing an hour, I want to say. And I think it's just, I didn't allow myself to push as hard. My clients kept up with me. They could have gone faster. Maybe I should push them to go a little bit faster. But yeah, we did our 5K and that was super fun with the girls. And then after that, well, before even the 5K, my husband started going into the whole stroller world. Like, I wasn't even ready to look at this stuff, but he was already looking at car seats, strollers. And here in San Diego, we don't really have a lot of stores that you could go look at different strollers besides, like, you know, Target and like Walmart and stuff like that. But he wanted to look at specific type of strollers. So when we did the 5K, after the 5K, we went to go look at strollers because that's what he wanted to do. That has been a whole thing through the whole second trimester, but we finally got the strollers. We had to narrow it down. The whole point, he was so obsessed with it. It was super cute that he was like really obsessed about the stroller thing. And now, like, I don't know what his other obsession is. And then after the 5K, we went to downtown Disney and I got my baby his first little stuffed toy. Does he need a toy right now? No, but did I want to get it? Yes, that's why I got it. So we did allow ourselves to have more little things that we want to buy here and there. A few things that have improved. So constipation improved. Oh, thank goodness. Oh my God. I was so worried. I know this might be TMI, but you know, first trimester constipation was horrible. Second trimester, things improved a little bit better. I need my normal digestion. I also made it a priority to make sure that I was eating more higher fiber foods. Okay, so throughout this whole time, I started to feel, I want to say like closer to week 16 or so, I started to feel little movements. I heard that they're very subtle, like I could only feel them. So that was kind of exciting, but also weird because I'm like, is it in my head or am I really feeling these little movements? But that was super fun, like trying to figure out if it was in my head because I was learning so much about like pregnancy, and I heard that it does feel like little like butterflies, which I don't know what butterflies feel like, but you do feel like little movements. And then we did our 20-week anatomy scan. This one was actually, we did it at 19 weeks because we were going to Dubai. So we did the whole scan where, you know, they check that everything is okay. That was like another thing that you kind of freak out about, I guess. So we did the scan. I really thought I would see, I mean, the baby looks a lot different from the first ultrasound that I did when I was like 8 weeks pregnant. You can see a little bit more of a baby, right? But not as what I thought. Plus, our baby was super shy. According to the person that did the anatomy scan, she mentioned that he was not letting her take good pictures of him. But we did the whole anatomy scan. I had to make sure I drank so much water before I went. I wanted to make sure I was fully prepare on doing that. After that anatomy scan, I also bought birth classes to take online because my husband and I were very into learning as much as we can. I know nothing ever prepares you for all this, but for us, we like to learn as much as possible because we do feel like the more you know, the more at least you feel prepared and you're going to feel less anxiety around it. So we definitely made sure that we were learning, and there was so much information. I haven't even finished. I still need to finish. All right, now the next part was we went to Dubai. So this was a plan that we had from the beginning of the year of 2024. So we wanted to make sure that, you know, even though I was pregnant, we still went to Dubai. For Dubai, I mainly went to meet my coaches in my mentorship. So with ACF, which is my online coaching, it wouldn't be possible if it wasn't because I invested in myself to join a mentorship. And the main person of the mentorship, he lives in Dubai and he does host these Dubai events. So he hosts events for everybody who's part of the mentorship in London. And then he hosts special mentorship for people who join his other level of the mentorship. And 2024, I joined his next level. It's called the Inner Circle. And only specific coaches get to join that mentorship. And only those people get to go to Dubai. This was a 16-hour flight. So we drove from San Diego to LA and we were in the airplane for 16 hours. This was my first time I ever traveled abroad and huge long distance, like 16 hours. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do it. So I went as prepared as possible. I took comfortable clothes. I took compression socks because I did hear that, you know, your body does retain water. And I did my best to stand up as much as I could while I was on the plane, but it was way too difficult to stand up and walk around. The other thing that I don't understand with airplane rides is why do they not give you enough water? Oh my God. They kept bringing me like these little cups of water and I just needed more water. So every time they passed by, I kept asking for like water. And then we arrived in Dubai and unfortunately my legs did get super swollen because I think I just wasn't able to move around as much on the airplane, plus the water intake. I'm pretty sure it was the water intake that they were not giving me enough water. But we did pretty good for the first 2 days we were there. So we arrived 2 days before the event and then the event took off on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday we did really good, but we did stay up a little bit later. And then Saturday, jet lag got the best of us. And that was really horrible with the jet lag. I never had jet lag. I remember being at the event and having to get up every so often because I wanted to close my eyes and just go to sleep. And, you know, we're like learning all these things to become a better coach. And I'm like, oh my God, I did not travel this far just to fall asleep and miss out on this. So we did deal with a little bit of jet lag. Plus on Sunday, we had another event at a yacht and I had jet lag and we got motion sickness as well. So that was fun, but I would definitely do it all over again. I really enjoyed the fact that I was able to meet my coaches in my mentorship and also meet the other coaches who, you know, are striving to become better coaches. And I just learned so much to the point where I'm like, I already want to start planning for my next trip. And I'm glad that I didn't let my pregnancy stop me during this time. I was able to walk as much as possible during the whole time that I was in Dubai. So I was getting anywhere between 15,000 steps or so, minimum 12,000 steps. So that was really good. Now, I did work out there. There was this really great gym outside of our Airbnb, but I was a little intimidated by the people in the gym. I don't know why. So we ended up working out at the gym that the Airbnb had. We only worked out like about 5 times and we were there for 12 weeks. So there was like a week that we did 3 days. There was a week that we did 2 days. So not so bad, right? And then when we came back, Julio, which was my husband, he was able able to feel the baby's movements now. So I didn't feel like it was just me or me going crazy. That was like a lot of fun. So spoke a lot about Dubai, and we'll see how long this is gonna entail and if I even record this again. So we got back from Dubai, and a week later we traveled to my mom's. We spent Thanksgiving at my mom's. My mom got married as well, so we wanted to be there. And that was the first time that we saw the baby moving. Like you can actually see it. Like I was wearing, you know, some pajama pants, and you could see my belly jump up, and my mom was able to feel the baby moving as well. And then we also went and got a few little outfits for the baby. My mom got him a few little outfits, so that was fun. I already put them away. And then we did the glucose test. I say we because he must have tasted it too. So we did the glucose test to check if I had diabetes during pregnancy. I heard that this glucose test tastes horrible. So I was just getting ready for it because I knew it was a lot of sugar. Oh my God. I was like, couldn't I have ate something? Like I would have rather ate like a donut or something instead of having to drink it. But I completely understand why you have to drink it. You have to make sure that your body digests it right away. And I wanted to record it, but the lady who made me do the glucose test, so they took me inside the labs by myself, and she was watching me while I was drinking this thing. I was like, why is she watching me? She's like, you have to finish it right away. And then I had to wait a whole hour. I couldn't leave or anything like that. And then I came back, they drew blood, and she kind of freaked me out because she was asking me all these questions. She was like, are you feeling? Are you feeling more tired? Are you feeling? I was like, should I be feeling these things? I was like, no, I don't feel more tired. I'm like, I was already tired. And I'm like, I end up having a burst of energy. I mean, there's 70 grams of sugar in this drink, you know? And then she mentioned some people crash. And I was like, if I'm not having those symptoms, does that mean I might come up positive for, you know, pregnancy diabetes? I forget what they call it. I'm not even going to mention the word. That was a whole other thing. But it turns out that my glucose levels are good. No diabetes, thank goodness. Now, during this time, my husband still continued with the strollers. Oh my God, the stroller thing. I didn't know what to do. Like we went to like 3 or 4 stores because he wanted to go look at strollers and asked me which one I liked. And there was like one store we went to, and the guy kept making me go around like the parking lot. And then they would be like, how does it feel? And I'm like a stroller? Like, I don't know. What am I supposed to look for? But finally narrow it down. I actually had found a stroller online, and I told him, I'm like, I like this one, but he didn't want to buy it because he didn't see it in person. And I was just like, no, I really like this one. We ended up going with it. Yeah, that was the whole thing. And then the pregnancy brain. Okay, so pregnancy brain started, I want to say, past my 20 weeks. I'm not gonna lie, it does make me feel a little self-conscious about my pregnancy brain. So here's the thing, you guys. English is my second language, but Spanish is also not my primary language. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. Like both of them are kind of messed up, right? I already have a hard time with sometimes my grammar, and I already feel very self-conscious about my grammar. And with pregnancy brain, it has made things a little bit more difficult in the sense that I don't want to sound dumb. Like I always say words backwards or mixed around, or I forget things. So I tend to forget if I added salt to my eggs half of the time. That has definitely been something else. I am so glad that I have Google Calendar because that's the only way I've been keeping myself organized. Okay. Now I know this video is going a little bit longer than what I thought, but let's go over fitness updates. Okay. Fitness has been really good. except this week because I got sick. But you know, this is for the 3rd trimester recap because technically we're on the 3rd trimester now. After fainting, like I mentioned, I was a little bit scared about pushing myself a little bit too much. I gave myself a few days off from the gym, and then I went back to the gym, and I was only working out 3 times a week. I want to say for a whole month. 1 week I would do 2 upper body days, 1 leg day. 1 week I would do 2 lower body days and 1 upper body day. And I kept up with it like that until I felt confident enough that I was okay and I can just do my normal workout. So I was able to keep up with that. I was able to keep up with my steps. When I went out for a walk, I made sure I took water with me or anything, so that way if I felt a little dehydrated or anything, I had water. I kept my lifts a little bit lighter at the start because of the fainting, and then slowly started increasing my lifts into something more moderate. And I'm slowly realizing that I could probably kept up with my lifts a little bit heavier, but you know, this is my first pregnancy, so you just want to be careful. So I think for the 2nd time around, if that happens, I definitely want to make sure that I am lifting as heavy as possible as my body allows me during that time. And then after Dubai trip, I was able to increase my strength training back up to 4 days of strength training again. So I'm back to my 4 days of working out. There's some days where I feel stronger, like, so there's some weeks where I feel a little bit more fatigued. There's some weeks where I feel a little bit stronger. Now I will say, like, I do feel really tired during pregnancy, but I realized that when I go to the gym and I come back from the gym, I actually feel better than when I don't go to the gym. Now let's talk about nutrition. So nutrition, my calories did increase. I'm roughly eating anywhere between max maybe 2,400 on good days if I feel like it. I haven't been like forcing myself to eat just because I can eat. I just kept it depending on how I felt. Calories, you know, did increase, but I still kept my nutrition as balanced as possible. I was able to do Dubai great while enjoying some of my fun foods, but also keeping a lot of the consistency. We stayed in Airbnb, so we were able to cook some of our meals, not just because we wanted to eat healthy, but because we also wanted to save money because it is a big trip. And I was also working during that time, right? And no major cravings. I don't know when this happens, you guys, but there is no cravings. I don't really have cravings. Like, I still just want like tacos half of the time, and every so often I want pizza. Like every so often. Not as much as the 1st trimester. The 2nd trimester, I wanted pizza every so often, but I didn't crave it as much. Sweets have not been on top of my list. So like, I don't really crave a lot of sweet during this pregnancy. I mean, I do have some here and there, but not as much. And my weight that I went up on the 1st trimester has been roughly, I have here 15 pounds, but I feel like maybe I did that math wrong. I could be closer to like 18 to 20 pounds. I want to say. Not that I'm trying to not gain a lot of weight. I know pregnancy is different for everybody, but I also want to make sure that like I am having a healthy weight gain during pregnancy, because you don't have to eat for 2 when you are pregnant. So 1st trimester, you don't really need anything. You just have to eat your maintenance calories. And then by 2nd trimester, you can bump up your calories like anywhere between 200 to 250 calories. That's all you need. And then we'll talk about the 3rd trimester. That's how things have gone. I was waiting for my bump to happen for the 2nd trimester, and I thought I had a bump, you guys, but this is now at 30 weeks. Man, I miss that tiny bump right now, but I definitely have the belly going on right now. Like, I could definitely not hide it anymore. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make sure I focus on sharing the 3rd trimester, last trimester, a few weeks before the baby comes. That is my recap for a 2nd trimester. I just wanted to share this and share how it's going, whether somebody watches it or not. For me, it's just more like I want to keep it as a memory on my YouTube, because this is a big journey as well. I shared my photo shoot journey, I shared some of my bikini prep, and now I want to share my fit pregnancy journey as well. And I've been having such a great time. So I'll catch you guys later, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.